I've heard a lot of people say the 0 to 400 method is the best way to cook chicken wings on a pellet grill to get both smoky flavor and crispy skin. So today, we're putting it to the test. Hey everybody, welcome to Mad Backyard. Alright, so today we're doing a method that's been floating around for a little while called 0 to 400 chicken wings, and we're basically going to see if it lives up to the hype. The claim is pretty simple. You start the wings on the pellet grill while everything's still cold. You let them pick up smoke flavor while the grill's heating up. And then once you reach 400 degrees, you continue cooking them there so that they get crispy skin. So that hopefully you get smoky flavor in the beginning and crispy skin at the end, all on the same grill. And if it works the way people say it does, it should be one of the easiest ways to make chicken wings on a pellet grill. You just put them on, set the temperature, and walk away. Today I'm doing mine on the Pit Boss, but you can follow along with any type of pellet grill. Now, we did a previous video where we slow smoked chicken wings on the Pit Boss and then finished them with direct high heat right over the flame broiler to get that crispy skin. So similar idea today, but a little different method and hopefully a little less work. Now, before we get to the grill, let's talk about one of the main ways to get crispy skin, and that's to start with dry chicken wings. If your wings are wet, you're already behind. Moisture has to evaporate in order for the skin to get crispy. And if you start with wings that are holding a bunch of water on the surface, that steam is constantly fighting against you. So I started with frozen wings that I thawed out, and then I poured them into a foil pan and dried them really well with paper towels. And I'm not talking about one quick wipe. Keep going with a lot of paper towels until they feel dry to the touch. You're gonna need to soak up a lot of moisture. This step matters a lot. Now, if you wanna give the 0 to 400 method the best possible chance of working, you can even dry brine your chicken wings overnight. All you do is after you season the chicken wings, put them on a wire rack over a baking sheet so that there's air underneath the wings as well, and let them sit uncovered in the fridge overnight. That fridge air helps dry the skin out even more. The salt works its way into the meat to act like a dry brine, and it'll really help you get juicy meat and crispy skin. I do this all the time with chicken, especially skin-on chicken, and even my Thanksgiving turkey. So definitely give it a try if you've never done it before. I think you'll notice a big difference. Now, I want to say this too because I see it all over the place and it drives me nuts. You do not need to oil your chicken wings to get the seasoning to stick. And if anything, that oil is going to work against you while you're trying to get crispy skin. Because crispy skin on chicken, and turkey for that matter, doesn't come from adding oil to the outside. It comes from rendering fat under the skin and letting the skin get nice and dry as the moisture in that fat escapes. Oil on the outside of the skin can actually slow that process down and keep that moisture from ever evaporating. Now, if you want to oil your grates or the wire rack a little bit so that the wings don't stick, that's fine, but don't coat your chicken wings in oil. When people deep fry wings in hot oil, that oil is so hot that the moisture still just evaporates instantly and escapes, which is why you get such crispy skin on deep fried chicken wings. But on a pellet grill, even at 400 degrees, it's just not going to be hot and direct enough for that moisture to escape through the oil. Okay, now one last cheat code for crispy wings, especially on a pellet grill, is baking powder. So I'm dusting my chicken wings with a little bit of baking powder before I start seasoning. And the reason this works is that baking powder raises the pH level on the surface of the skin, which helps it brown more easily and get more crispy while it cooks. Make sure you're using aluminum-free baking powder so that it doesn't leave any kind of aftertaste on your chicken. As long as you're using aluminum-free, you won't taste it at all. When measuring it out, you don't have to be exact. A good guideline is 1 tablespoon of baking powder for about every 2 pounds of wings. Today I've got about 5 pounds of wings, and I'm just going for a light dusting, not a thick white coating. After the baking powder, we're gonna go ahead and season the wings. Today I'm using 2 kinds of rubs. The first one is Holy Voodoo from Meat Church. If you like a spicier flavor on your chicken wings, this one is awesome. It almost reminds me of those flaming hot barbecued potato chips, which I love, with that sweet and spicy flavor combination. For the other half, I'm going with 3 Little Pigs Kansas City Championship Blend. This is just a great all-around barbecue rub with no heat, and especially when you're cooking for a large group of people, it's always nice to offer a less spicy option. And here's the thing with chicken wings, no matter how much you think you may like a certain seasoning, try not to overdo it. Just like with ribs, wings have a lot of surface area compared to the actual amount of meat, which makes it really easy to go too heavy on the rub. Now, if you're doing a pork butt or a brisket where you've got the opposite issue, not as much surface area on the outside relative to the amount of meat on the inside, yes, you can go pretty heavy-handed with the seasoning. But for ribs, chicken wings, small bite appetizers, you're just gonna overwhelm people when they bite into it if you overdo it. Especially if you're adding a sauce on top of that later like we're gonna do. So trust me, go a little lighter and you'll actually be able to eat a whole plate of these rather than having to tap out after 2 or 3. All right, let's get started cooking. I'm putting these wings on a wire rack over a foil-lined baking sheet. This makes the whole process a lot easier because I can rotate the whole rack rather than having to move individual chicken wings one at a time. Cleanup is easier too, and especially on a Pit Boss, that baking sheet can help with heat diffusion as well. Pit Boss grills tend to have more direct heat from below compared to other types of pellet grills since they only have a single layer heat diffuser over the fire pot. That's why I'm also using my flame tamer over the fire pot. For most things I cook on my Pit Boss, after I clean out the ash pot, I put the flame tamer on top of it before I put it back through the bottom of the grill. I talked about all this at length in another video about controlling Pit Boss temperature fluctuations and hot spots over the fire pot. So I'll link to that video up in the corner as well as in the description down below if you want to check it out. For the pellets today, I'm going with Bear Mountain's Chef Choice Blend. It's a nice straightforward mix that works really well on chicken. I'm also going to use a pellet tube today because I really do want to get as much smoke flavor as possible on these wings before they finish cooking. I like to start with a couple fire starters, fill the tube with pellets, and add a few layers of wood chips mixed in as I go. Today I'm using cherry wood. Light it with a butane torch to get it going, and then let it burn vertical for about 5 to 6 minutes. After that, once those fire starters are basically all burned up, you're gonna carefully lay it down on its side, blow out the flame, and let it smoke and smolder. Anytime you're using a pellet tube, make sure your exhaust chimney is open all the way. You need maximum airflow to keep it lit. I'm gonna let my grill run through the startup cycle with the lid open and let the pellet grill get lit at the same time. Once the pellet tube was ready and the grill had gone through the startup cycle, I put my wings on, closed the lid, and set the temperature to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, in a recent video, we talked about 7 ways to preheat your pellet grill faster, especially in the winter. One of them was to make sure your exhaust chimney is open all the way, which I'm definitely doing today, not only for our pellet tube, but because you should always cook that way. It should always be open so that you have maximum airflow, whether you're cooking low and slow or hot and fast. Doesn't matter, open up that exhaust chimney. Another tip for preheating your pellet grill faster was to set it to high rather than to your target cooking temperature. Now, I'm not gonna be doing that today because I want the pellet grill to come up to temperature slowly so that the wings have plenty of time to absorb smoke. So if I was just trying to get the pellet grill up to 400 degrees as fast as possible so that I could cook at just that temperature, yes, I would set it to high, and then when I was close to 400, then I would dial it to 400. But today, since we want it to come up slowly, I'm just setting it to 400 right at the beginning. The wings have been on now for about 40 minutes. It's about 25 degrees out right now, so the Pit Boss is struggling a little bit to come up to 400. I went and took the chimney cap completely off so we can get maximum airflow, and it seems to be coming up a little faster now. We're up to about 365 degrees. Let's go ahead and take a look at the wings. So our pellet tube's still smoking away, which is good. Starting to get a little color, not too much. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate this around so that we're getting nice even cooking at least. And we're gonna have to let these guys go for a little while longer here. And try not to let too much heat out as we're doing this. Get the lid closed again. And let them keep cooking. It's been another 40 minutes. We're at about the 1 hour and 20 minute mark now on our wings. We've been running at 400 now for a little while. You can still see we're making plenty of smoke. I'm gonna get a temperature check on the wings. I've tried to really limit opening and closing the lid because of the temperature outside today. But we're gonna get a quick temperature check just to kind of see where they're at. Now, with most chicken, you'll hear things like, cook it to 160 or 165 to have it be safe to eat. And while that's true, yes, we want to get it up to that temperature to kill all the bacteria in the chicken. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best temperature for all types of chicken. If you're cooking a really lean meat chicken breast, think of that like a filet mignon. Yes, you just want to take it up to 165 and be done, not let it cook anymore, not let it overcook. But on something like a chicken wing that has a lot more connective tissue and things we want to break down, we've got to bring it up even higher than that. So what I'm really looking for is about 200 to 210 degrees on these chicken wings. They're not going to dry out, trust me. The moisture comes from the fat melting inside the wings, and that doesn't happen until it gets up to those temperatures. Think of it like a chuck roast or a brisket. They stay nice and juicy even when we bring them up to those high temperatures. When you're cooking chicken like dark meat or wings or thighs, legs, things like that, you really got to bring them up in temperature to get them nice and juicy. So all that said, let's go ahead and see where we're at and go from there. Pull this forward a little bit, getting a little more color now. I'm gonna look at one of the flats here and just kind of go right in the middle between the two bones. And yeah, we're at 180. Okay, so this is safe to eat now at this point, but you can see the skin's still a little rubbery. We're not getting that much crispiness yet. I'm gonna go ahead and check one of these drums. You don't wanna be right against the bone. You wanna kind of get in the meat right there and see where you are. So yeah, these thicker pieces are coming up a little slower. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and flip these over just so they're cooking a little more even. but I'm gonna have my nitro gloves and my cloth liners on so I can do it real quick, and that way we're not keeping the lid open for too long, messing around with tongs and things like that. So I'm gonna get these flipped, get the lid closed, and we'll keep cooking. Once the wings are cooked through and reached about 200 degrees internally, we're gonna pull them off and add our sauce. And for the spicier wings, I'm using Cyberg's buffalo wing sauce, which is my favorite buffalo wing sauce because it's rich and creamy. It almost reminds me of the texture of Chick-fil-A sauce, but with a buffalo flavor. Then we put them back on the wire rack and back on the grill, still at 400 degrees for about 10 to 20 minutes. We're just warming up the sauce so it gets nice and tacky and sticks to the wings better. All right, let's go ahead and give these 0 to 400 chicken wings a try. First, we got the bourbon peach barbecue sauce from Kinder's. Let's go ahead and try this one. It's good. It's sweet, not too sweet. It's a good sauce, especially for people that may not like spicier buffalo wing sauce and want something sweeter. I would definitely check out that bourbon peach barbecue sauce if you haven't tried it already. The chicken wing itself, we can bite through the skin nice and easily. You see the meat's coming right off the bone. There's a lot of, similarities to ribs when you're cooking chicken wings. You want to take them up to a good temperature and let just everything kind of fall apart so they're nice and easy to eat and they're not rubbery, and they're really easy to bite through and delicious. So we're going to go ahead and try the buffalo ones now. Again, this is Cyberg sauce. This is one of my favorite buffalo sauces of all time. I'll probably put some more on this one when I go to sit down to eat these, but let's go ahead and give this a try. You can see that skin got nice and crispy on the outside there. Let's see how it tastes. Just delicious. I'm definitely going to add some more sauce and probably some blue cheese on top of this too, but you can see that skin on these as well. Just, you can bite right through that crispy skin there. There's nothing chewy or rubbery about it. The meat is nice and tender. Juicy chicken wing, exactly what we want. So that's the 0 to 400 wing method on a pellet grill. What are my thoughts? Are they just as good as wings that you've slow smoked and then cooked over a direct flame or direct high heat like we did in our previous chicken wings video? Not quite. If I had to make the best possible smoked chicken wing, that's still the way I would go, but these 0 to 400 wings still came out really good. Good smoky flavor and nice crispy skin. And they would be really easy to throw on for a party, especially if I am busy cooking other things and I just want to have some smoked wings as an appetizer without having to pay attention to them that much. So it's a good method to try out and keep in your toolbox. We hope you enjoyed this video. I'll put a link to the full step-by-step recipe you can find at our website, madbackyard.com, as well as links to all the products we used today down in the description below if you want to check those out. And please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't done so already, and let us know in the comments what's your favorite way to make chicken wings. We're always looking for new ideas and we'd love to test those out as well. Thanks for watching.